Hey all you first-time home buyers out there, we're here today to give you some tips on finding and getting your dream home. I'm Katizuromski with Zuromski Realty Group, and I've got Bob Friel from Friel Good Mortgage here with me.
Welcome back to the channel, everybody. So in this video, what we're actually going to break down is 3 simple steps to buying your dream home in a seller-friendly market. And Katie, what does a seller-friendly market mean?
So in a seller-friendly market, it means that we have a low inventory right now.
What most videos say about the home buying process is what?
Talk to a realtor first, but that's not the case in a seller's market.
No, not at all, because here's the deal. In a seller-friendly market, you as a first-time home buyer, you really have to think about how you're better prepared than your competition. One of the big things that we like to ask our customers and clients is, how do you plan on competing against a cash buyer? That's what we're talking about here today, because we actually put together what we call the ultimate home buyer experience. And some of the key takeaways that you're going to learn in this video are going to yield you great results in the field, like some of our past clients that we have actually had that beat out cash offers. We also have a client bought a house for $73,000 less than it appraised for. Yes, those deals do exist and they still are out there. First step, the first module, the first milestone that you should take as a potential home buyer, as a first-time home buyer, is what we call the foundation, which is literally getting all of your numbers out of the way. And how much house you can afford is actually going to be broken down into 3 kind of big numbers. One is your budget. So Katie, how do we tell people to get ready for their budget?
You have to look at your debt to income ratio, your credit score, and your monthly income.
Think about a purchase price, and if you went over that number, you wouldn't be able to sleep at night. That's the number that when we get you in the field with somebody like Katie, that we want to stick below and make sure that your true numbers that Katie mentioned, your credit score, your debt to income ratio, your income, all of that, really your debt to income ratio really falls in line with your purchase price budget. Some quick mortgage tips for you. You can get loans with less than 600 credit, but honestly, those are going to come with such a high borrowing cost that we don't suggest that at all. So if you have at least a 640 credit or higher, my personal take is how much?
You need at least a 700 credit score. That's what we recommend.
Because that opens up a lot more loan products and a lot less borrowing cost for you as a consumer. One of the other key factors in figuring out how much house you can afford is how much you have saved for your down payment. Now, there are loan programs out there that what?
They will give you some down payment assistance, but is that always the best choice?
Me personally, I don't think so. If you haven't saved any money for down payment, you got to really consider when you're in the field with Katie, what if you're going up against another set of borrowers that has cash and you don't have any money for down payment? It's going to be a lot harder for Katie to negotiate the best sales contract, or even get you under contract for that matter, if you haven't really taken a little bit of time to clean up your finances and unfortunately save up for that down payment, because it gives Katie a little bit more leverage when you do have some, savings, some wiggle room in your budget for getting under contract. And last but not least, the debt to income calculation is real simple. It's whatever your income is, divide that by 12. You take that number and you multiply that by 45%, which gives you your total debt to income ratio percentage. And then you can deduct all of your current debt obligations from your credit report and the housing payment for this new property that you're looking to purchase. As long as that is below 45%, you would technically be approved for a home loan. The lower your debt to income ratio, the better qualified you are.
It's also a known fact that we've done in our research that 30% of buyers actually fall through with their loans, which means we can come in with our awesome pre-approved buyers, you guys, and get you guys that house that you dream of, because it helps me negotiate a whole lot better when you guys are ready to go.
So in milestone or module number 2 that we put together, we call it the floodgates. So the floodgates build on the foundation that we just talked about, which is effectively like the field, right? So what do you do once your finances are all in order? You go out in the field, you start looking at properties, and Katie is the one that helps you kind of figure out that unit and get you under contract. So Katie, let's dive into a little bit more detail on this process here.
Awesome. So what we do really is what we call the buyer's triangle: price, location, and amenities. Now, not everybody gets all three. So when we're going to each house, you want to make sure that you at least have 2 of those picked out that it meets. It's ideal if you can get all 3, but this way you're at least getting 2 off your checklist. And on top of those 3 things, we want to know, why do you want to buy a home? Not for financial reasons, but that deep down in your soul, what is the reason? Is it for kids? Is it for maybe expanding your family someday, getting closer to work, finding that place that you've always wanted to be in that you don't have to worry about a landlord? What's your reason to buy a home?
Taking that into account, the buyer's triangle that we just talked about, and the true reasons that you're buying a home, helps with what?
Helps me with negotiations, because I can come to the seller with not only your finances in order, but the real reason that you're buying a home, which, let's be honest, I can sell that to the seller. And now that we've got you under contract, we call this the home stretch.
Yep, this is module 3, milestone 3, the home stretch, where you're actually under contract. Here in Denver, most standardized contract sales times are about 4 weeks.
That is correct. We've got about 4 weeks, and in week 1, we've got what going on?
In week 1, there's a heck of a lot of stuff going on. We call it like homework for you as the buyer, right? So you're gonna be doing inspections, you're gonna be doing your preliminary loan paperwork, you're gonna get insurance for the property, and really somebody like myself with a team that handles all of the processing of your mortgage loan, they're gonna order all sorts of third-party items like title, appraisals, and so on. So we call it, it's very labor intensive week 1, but if you follow these modules properly, it's a little bit less stressful than it would if you were scrambling trying to get under contract and all your paperwork together within a couple days. And what happens in weeks 2 and 3?
So in weeks 2 and 3, that's really kind of where we're tying up loose ends. You've got your reports coming back for the appraisal, which we'll be discussing, and we've got everything coming back for the inspection too, which you and I will be discussing. So really, we're getting back a lot of the third-party stuff that Bob discussed that we're covering there. And then in week 3, we're doing the fun stuff, like getting the clear to close, final walkthrough, and then we head right into week 4. And why is that the best week, Bob?
Week 4, that's when you get the keys to your new home. You get the garage door opener, you get the mail codes, like all of that fun stuff. And hopefully you saved a little bit of money for some moving expenses so you don't have to do all the heavy lifting yourself.
All right, all you first-time home buyers out there, it's time. Tell us what your favorite tip was in the comments below.
And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, tap the bell, because like I said, we do videos each and every week.
And then look down in the comments below, because we've got all sorts of fun stuff for you. We've got calculators that you can use to discover what your mortgage could be. We've got a home buyers course that you guys can take. Tons of great information for all you future home buyers out there.
All right, now is the time. Snoop around the channel, and we'll see you on the next one. Take care, all.